what what it is. News junkies and gamblers, degenerates, I should say, degenerates of all kinds. Welcome. Somebody says they're betting on my vape flavor, and I have to inform you that you're incorrect. It's not peanut butter blast. That sounds kind of good though. I don't know if they do peanut butter flavors of vape. That sounds good. The squirrels would like it. You know, the squirrels vape now. Big news today. Breaking news right now, actually, from minutes ago. Breaking news. So I'll break that on this show. I won't tell you now. You have to stay tuned in. I don't know what the biggest news is. The thumbnail is about Melania Trump. She made a really surprising statement today that makes us very curious if something is about to come out, like something serious is about to drop about Melania Trump and Jeffrey Epstein. So I'm going to start after the Lego videos. Of what the Lego videos are insane. I don't even watch them. I just watch them with you guys. I just save them and play them on the show. There are so many that I'm not even going to show you all of them. Actually, today I have like 4. So we'll watch those together. Lots of propaganda coming out from Iran. Lots of questions, to put it mildly, about the ceasefire, which isn't as of right now. I can officially report that there officially is not a ceasefire. There kind of is. The United States isn't attacking Iran. They're not attacking them. But that's about it. Iran is not attacking Israel yet, but that could happen at any time. So there is still some kind of ceasefire, but Israel is killing it as of this minute. And talks, I will be shocked if talks are happening at all. So, in fact, the news is, I guess I will tell you, breaking news, the talks are off. Nobody's figured it out yet as far as like the stock market, which I talk about, which has been on an epic run. Like it's been up 8%. I'm dying every single day, considering I'm bet the opposite direction. But one of these days, I think people will figure out what's going on. All this good news supposedly, but actually it's a bunch of bad news. No oil is going through Hormuz. Talks are off. The ceasefire is officially not real because of Israel and Netanyahu. I didn't even talk about the reporting. There's reporting. I believe it's the New York Times, 2 authors who are writing a book about how Netanyahu is the one who talked Trump into it by saying it would be really easy. And many people were skeptical of Netanyahu because they say that's what he always says, but didn't really express their objections except for J.D. Vance. So that's the news, supposedly. So J.D. Vance has a little bit of an out for 2028 as the only person officially who challenged Trump and told him that Iran was a bad idea. Everybody else didn't tell him that, even though they might have thought that, especially General Kane, Raisin Kane. So, lots of news. Like I said, stocks are up. We can talk about that a little bit today. Stocks are up. They were down today, and then news broke that Netanyahu said he'd have talks with Lebanon, but then news broke that there was not going to be a ceasefire with Lebanon, like Netanyahu announced it, and stocks still went up close at the high of the day. Epic run in the stock market. So congratulations, everybody who bet the other way. Epic run in stocks. Oil is down, I guess. How much did gas go down for you for our victory? We've declared victory. Trump is tweeting a lot, is truthing a lot. Trump is truthing a lot about how it is a victory. We don't know what we agreed to, apparently, at all. Doesn't seem like he knew what he agreed to, which was that Iran could charge tolls in the Strait of Hormuz. Now he's saying they can't, but it's fucked. We don't want, I don't know. It's fucked. Maybe I'll get to the news and then we'll chat about it all. I don't have to do an epic intro. We're going to play Lego videos and then show you, I think, the full statement from Melania Trump, which is totally shocking to everyone and nobody knows why she did it. Okay. Including Donald Trump, who had no idea it was going to happen. So in the conspiracy theory book, Netanyahu is blackmailing Donald Trump for him with Epstein files. That's the conspiracy theory, is that Netanyahu is blackmailing Trump with Epstein files, and that's why Trump had to go to war with Iran, which I don't believe. And as far as like whether we were manipulated by Israel, we were a little bit, but Trump always wanted to bomb Iran. It's true that he always wanted that. And now he loves everything bombing and military and everything else. Ever since the Venezuela thing went so well for him, which is what I've been saying. That's when he officially became the monster he is today, is after the Venezuela raid went successfully, which made him a war-crazed maniac, thinking then that he could take Greenland now and the whole world, you know. So that's what turned him into a war-crazed maniac, thinking he could do no wrong, that you can invade any country you want and you'll always win in 2 days. This is what people are saying today, what Danger Man is saying, that Iran is so bad that they're trying to bring back the Epstein files. That's what people are saying. So that's the word on the street, is we started the war in Iran to distract from the Epstein files, and now Iran went so badly that we're bringing up Epstein to distract from Iran. Well, yeah, he's mad at the Wall Street Journal. He's mad at everybody for saying we lost. He's mad at everybody who's reporting on the fact that it's terrible. Even Fox News is saying we didn't do anything. All right, you ready? We'll start the show. We'll play you guys some of the Lego videos, and we'll get to the news. Oh, Trump is doing a lot of True Socials. He did a True Social about all the biggest, most talented influencers who all turned against him, calling them low IQ idiots, which is ironic since the low IQ crowd is the one that's supporting Trump, basically. But apparently they're the most popular people. So we'll talk about all that stuff. All right, get ready, strap in. We are going to start. Here we go. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. Most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. And I bring you the news, the real news.
Yeah. Every time he talks tough, it's Taco Tuesday. Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Big press on Monday, then the chickens out Tuesday. Power plant day, bridge day, all that tough talk. Nice folding again, what a joke. He screams regime change, drops bombs like he's bold. Then runs to the mic and says maybe we fold. One day he's winning, next day he's scared. Every Tuesday he's backpedaling hard. You threatened the straight so we'd live in hell. Now you're begging for ceasefire, we can tell. 17 bases hit your military in shame. But you still out here tweeting like it's a game. Taco Tuesday, Taco Tuesday. Big threats on Monday, then the chickens out Tuesday. Power plant day, bridge day, all that tough talk. Now he's folding again, what a joke. Sacred defense, we still standing strong. Taco Tuesday again, yeah.
All right, that's pretty good. That's from Persia Boy. Persia Boy, B-O-I. There's another one here, which I think I don't even have. So oh wow, there's so many of them. All right, hold on. I have to show you the one about the failed uranium heist. This is about the failed uranium heist, which isn't confirmed, but appears to be true. That the whole downed pilot story was a cover-up for the fact that we tried to take the uranium and failed at the last minute. And then probably Trump's meltdown and threat to destroy their civilization came from the fact that he couldn't even get the enriched uranium and then just needed the Strait of Hormuz to be open somehow, which it's never going to. It appears. Anyway, here's a video about, like I said, I'm seeing him for the first time with you. Enjoy it with me. Let's see.
Yeah. They said it was a rush, but it was a heist. Uranium heist, uranium heist. Try to steal our uranium in the dead of night. Commandos, Rangers, Black Hawks in the fight failed miserably, just like Tabas, right? They flew deep into ice for hunt, thought we wouldn't see. Special forces, excavators trying to take our enriched uranium for free. Attacked our defenses, tried to seize the ground, but we lit them up. Now the birds are down. C-130 gone, Black Hawks burning in the sand. 600 million wasted on a failed master plan. They called it a rescue, but the world knows the truth. They came for our uranium. That's the real proof. We said it clear, this wasn't random at all. They wanted our nuclear material, that was the goal. Deep into our territory under constant threat, but they got exposed. Now the whole world sees their regret. Feel like Tabas, history repeated.
What's Tabas?
Superpower embarrassed, losing more than just man. You try to rob us in the middle of the war, now you're running scared. We laugh from afar, sacred defense. Uranium safe. Stop running away, keep your boots on the ground. Yeah.
All right, that was pretty good too. All right, hopefully we don't get sick of these. They're all pretty, they're all bangers, as they say. Bangers. All right, let's see. If you're in the mood, your government is run by pedophiles. We can do that one. Pakistan saves the world and civilization. Let's try that. Let's see.
When the world stood on the edge, missiles ready, skies on fire. One move away from everything breaking. Pakistan stepped in. Yeah. Tension high, yeah, the stakes for real. Missiles locked in, you can feel the steel. Sirens loud, yeah, the red lines cross. One wrong move, everything lost. From Tehran skies to the fleets at sea. War drums echoing globally. Fire met fire, the whole.
Oh, it's not as good. Oh, it's just about Pakistan. Who cares? We wrote the text. We wrote the thing Pakistan did. All right, hold on. I think there are better ones. Let's see. Your government is run by pedophiles. Let's try that.
But Bibi's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold. We're not just fighting for Iran, hear this clear. Your people reached out to us, yeah, we got the DMs here. If one nation's gonna stand against the Epstein regime's fear, it's us to the last breath, we've been doing it for years. We're standing here for everyone, your system ever wrong, they've known all along. The enemy was always you. The real threat wore a suit and sung a patriotic song while selling their own citizens and calling it strong. Stealing from your own people, making them bleed, taking tax dollars just to fund your own greed. They waking up to the lies, the illusions of burst. You screamed America first, now you put losers first. Make Israel great again. Your government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. They ordered you to die for Israel. They lied to you. We saw everything. If the public ever saw the files, man, the planet would shake from the level of filth and the crimes in your wake. No wonder Jeff called you the worst, you degenerate snake. You claimed you never set foot. You went 40 plus times. You sick bastard, you cooked. We stepping up to the plate. Epstein regime gotta fall. You fake Christian elite sacrificing the ball. Demon, you talk real big for a man with tiny hands. Tiny hands, tiny things, tiny everything. We saw everything, and word got out. The smallness kinda expands. No wonder all those rage tweets, all those desperate rants. Overcompensating bully, always causing a scene. You said you love losers. Well, look at your team. Your government is run by. Your government is run by pedophiles. They ordered you to die for Israel. They ordered you to die for Israel. They lied to you.
That's a good one. That's one of the best I've seen. Your government. That's a catchy one. All right, hold on. This might be, somebody said there's one about insider trading to run that one. This is the last. I have another one, but that's all right. I'll just play this one last. This is about the ceasefire being fake, I think. Let's see.
Hey, orange pig. America first? Oops. Oh boy, that was the slogan you sold. But Bibi's pulling strings and your vote is getting cold.
Oh no, this one we just watched. Okay, that one we already watched. Okay, do you want to see another? You can vote quickly. Path of Blood. Oh, they're still trolling us. All right, and then this is a funny video that's making the rounds. About the ever expanding alphabet. They call them the alphabet people. And by the way, Grindr, it is out now that Grindr is hosting a party at the White House. So we already have the gay bar alert, which is the one where if gay bars aren't busy, it goes along with the pizza alert. There's the pizza alert and the gay bar alert around the Pentagon. And if there's lots of pizzas being ordered and the gay bars are empty, that means we're about to do something, or the Pentagon is strategizing about something and everybody's busy in the Pentagon, because I guess they're all gay, I guess, or at least enough of them are, that when they're not at work, they're at the gay bar. So Grindr is hosting a party for, what is it called? The correspondence dinner, the one where they make jokes. The one where George W. Bush made a joke about not finding the weapons of mass destruction in Iraq, like it was funny. He was like, "Whoa, are they under here?" That's what he did on stage at the press dinner. And it's the one where Barack Obama, before Trump was president, when Barack Obama was president, made fun of Trump, made a bunch. It's a roast too, right? It's a roast. So Obama heavily roasted Trump. So that's what happened at the correspondence dinner, the lighthearted night where people roast each other, supposedly. That can be kind of controversial. So anyway, Grindr is hosting one of the parties, at least at the White House, which is appropriate. Hopefully Lindsey Graham will be there. All right. Anyway, they used to be called LGB. That's what it used to be. 3 letters. LGB. That was it. Lesbian, gay, bisexual. And it could have just been GB or just G, really, because it's all gay. I think lesbians are gay too, and bisexual people are gay. And half the time, I guess, or whatever, it's still gay. So it should just be G. But then it became LGBT. Then it became LGBTQ. And then it would extend out to LGBTQIA+. Q is for queer or questioning, I think. I think it can also be questioning, just if you think you might be gay. I intersex, which is like 0.0000001% of people. So they get their own letter, I guess. Intersex. It's so rare. It's like doesn't even exist. And then A, I think, is asexual. Plus is so that you can add on more. Well, this was a record in Canada for how long the string of letters has gotten. So let's play that for you guys. This is making the rounds.
When the budget was released, I was shocked to find out that Prime Minister Carney is cutting $7 billion between Indigenous Services Canada and Crown Indigenous Relations. They provided $0 to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2SLGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous. This is.
How does she remember that? A lot of people are saying it's like a Wi-Fi password. That's what people are saying. It goes on forever. Somebody broke down what it all means. The first 4 letters are like the same thing. Missing and murdered Indigenous something or other. MMI something. Hold on.
Dollars to deal with the ongoing genocide of MMIW G2SLGBTQIA+. This is abhorrent. This is callous.
It's funny to listen to. How does she say it so fast? Anyway, I'd tell you what it stands for, but who cares really? There's like two-spirit got added at some point. That can either be she says it as T. One of the T's in hers is two-spirit, but you can also write 2S. That's what people, two-spirit, which is just the Indian way of saying gay, or native way of saying, trans, I guess, or both male and female or something like that. You're a two-spirit if you're Native American and trans. So it's kind of repetitive. It's so funny. Allies is another one. There's an A in there for allies. So you don't even have to be gay to be marginalized, which is great. So we can all claim. I'm an ally for some of the letters. Not all of them, though. I do have a problem with some of the letters. But anyway. So anyway, just showing you guys that for amusement. All right. Before we get into the news about Iran, this news is what we had in the thumbnail. This is the entire statement. It's 5 minutes and 43 seconds. I haven't heard the whole thing, but I have clips that are like 2 minutes and 3 minutes long. So I figured if it was a 6-minute whole speech, I might as well just play the whole thing. Out of nowhere, everyone is scrambling. Nobody knows why. Melania Trump took to the podium today to make this speech. Okay. Everyone is stunned and amazed. So let's see what it's about.
Good afternoon. The lies linking me with the disgraceful Jeffrey Epstein need to end today. The individuals lying about me are devoid of ethical standards, humility, and respect. I do not object to their ignorance, but rather I reject their mean-spirited attempts to defame my reputation. I never been friends with Epstein. Donald and I were invited to the same parties as Epstein from time to time, since overlapping in social circles is common in New York City and Palm Beach. To be clear, I never had a relationship with Epstein or his accomplice, Maxwell. My email reply to Maxwell cannot be categorized as anything more than casual correspondence. My polite reply to her email doesn't amount to anything more than a trivial note.
Trivial. Come on.
I am not Epstein's victim.
You've been here a long time,
Epstein did not introduce me to Donald Trump. I met my husband by chance at a New York City party in 1998.
Okay.
This initial encounter with my husband is documented in detail in my book, Melania. The first time I crossed paths with Epstein was in the year 2000 at an event Donald and I attended together.
Trival.
At the time,
Trival.
I had never met Epstein
Trival.
and had no knowledge of his criminal undertakings. Numerous fake images and statements about Epstein and me have been circulating on social media.
Circulating? Are you insane?
Now. Be cautious about what you believe. These images and stories are completely false. I'm not a witness or a named witness in connection with any of Epstein's crimes. My name has never appeared in court documents, depositions, victim statements, or FBI interviews surrounding the Epstein matter. I have never had any knowledge of Epstein abuse of his victims. I was never involved in any capacity. I was not a participant, was never on Epstein's plane, and never visited his private island. I have never been legally accused or convinced of a crime.
Convicted. Oh my God. I mean, what the hell?
Abuse of minors.
She can't read.
And other repulsive behavior. The false smears about me from mean-spirited and politically motivated individuals and entities looking to cause damage to my good name, to gain financially and climb politically, must stop. My attorneys and I have fought these unfounded and baseless lies with success and will continue to maintain my sound reputation without hesitation. To date, several individuals and companies have been legally obligated to publicly apologize and retract their lies about me, such as Daily Beast, James Carville, and HarperCollins, UK. Now is the time for Congress to act. Epstein was not alone. Several prominent male executives resigned from their powerful positions after this matter became widely politicized. Of course, this doesn't amount to guilt. but we still must work openly and transparently to uncover the truth. I call on Congress to provide the women who have been victimized by Epstein with a public hearing specifically centered around the survivors. Give these victims their opportunity to testify under oath in front of Congress with the power of sworn testimony. Each and every woman should have her day to tell her story in public if she wishes, and then her testimony should be permanently entered into the congressional record. Then, and only then, we will have the truth. Thank you.
All right, so that's it. Sorry to sit you through the whole thing. I saw one person said, who cares? Well, what is she even talking? Like, the shocking thing about it is, like, what is she even talking about? That's the shocking thing. Everybody knew about the email to Ghislaine Maxwell, but that's not that bad. So is something major about to come out? I mean, that's the obvious speculative avenue to go after this. But my God, I mean, she can't read. She's been here for 30 years or something. I didn't see her stupid movie. I mean, how many, like, she completely fucked up easy words. Convinced instead of convicted. I mean, it doesn't make sense. That's the thing. Like, I didn't think she was stupid, but I guess she is kind of. But the whole thing is like, what is she talking about? Like, the lady doth protest too much, right? That's what Shakespeare would say. The lady doth protest too much. Because there's nobody's seen any accusations. I mean, if I'd seen something, I saw somebody posted a picture, but it was from a random account, and I didn't even save it because it was probably AI. Saw one account that said like Macron leaked a picture of her, but I didn't believe it. It was a picture of her like canoodling with Jeffrey Epstein, but could have easily been fake. I mean, everything can be. So just, I guess, like, wait to see what comes out. I mean, the Donald Trump said he knew nothing about it, and he was in a war meeting or something and knew nothing about it. So anyway, that's that. That's the Melania Trump story. Just wanted to see what she said. She says she wants the victims to testify. The victims, okay, like, everybody wants names named. There were names in the interviews. Like, they named people in their interviews, and in some court documents, that's where Virginia Giuffre named a number of the people she had sex with. And she said it was with like a prime minister, a hotel guy who I identified as somebody who was dating Naomi Campbell. She, but a lot of them she didn't name, but she named Dershowitz. She said, you know, she was told to have sex with Dershowitz and Prince Andrew, of course. And then she had the photograph to kind of prove it. So, but the reason they don't name names, the victims, is that they'd get sued. That's all. They'd just get sued if they did. So that's why they don't say it themselves. A lot of people ask. And I know Congress people like Massey has threatened to say the names because they're in the documents which haven't been released. The documents which include the interviews with the FBI where they're, you know, not speaking publicly. So they named the people they had sex with. And it probably includes like Wexner, stuff like that. Congress people can say anything they want on the floor of Congress and not get sued. I think that's the rule. So Congress people can say whatever they want and not get sued. They're just allowed to say anything. But I don't know if, even if you're under oath and being asked questions, if you name somebody, if they can sue you for it. I don't know what the rules are, but she's requesting that there's a congressional hearing. I mean, just why is she doing it? I'm just totally shocked. Given that Trump wants to bury everything about Epstein and hates the Epstein stuff. It's totally weird. Total, like I said, the lady doth protest too much. Like it would lead me to think that something's about to come out. Like somebody's trying to blackmail her. That's what it would lead you to think. So somebody's trying to blackmail her. That's what you would think. Like they're like, oh, I'm going to release this information about Jeffrey Epstein if you don't do X, Y, and Z. So she's like, oh shit, I better say something. That's what it seems like. I don't know if that's true, but it is just a weird thing to happen out of nowhere. And then Trump didn't even know about it. It's just super bizarre. So curious what might be about to drop. That's all. All right. So now we'll get to the Iran news and all the Trump tweets and everything. So I can get rid of this. I'll save that just in case we want to play it later. First, if you want to support the show, you can, we are monetized. You can drop super chats, of course. But you can also go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. I have a coffee to read, or a few coffees from the last show. Go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. It's much more efficient because they don't take 30% like YouTube does. And they pay me in a few days instead of waiting to do it every month if I'm lucky, like YouTube does. So if you want to support the show in a better way, go to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. You can buy as many virtual coffees as you like, leave a note, and I will reference them and read them and respond to them at the end of every show. You can also buy t-shirts at Truth Revolution Clothing. These are scrolling across the bottom of your screen at all times. Truthclothing.io. Here are our t-shirts. They're on sale, going out of business sale, $5 and $10 t-shirts. Cool designs. So we're sold out of that. That's good. We still have a few Doshi jerseys left, it looks like. Question Everything. We have a few left. We have lots of cryptocurrency shirts. Bitcoin Saves, Crypto Future, HODL. We have some mask referencing shirts, Freedom of Faith shirts. Those are made in America. They're only $5, and we have kids versions too. Super high quality. And then we have several female designs. One of the Lift the Veil slouchy, which I thought I sold the last. We might be down to like one or two of those. And then Question Everything slouchies and women's shirts, Bell and Canvas, really, really high quality. They're all screen printed. They last forever. So check them out. Those are all $10, all the lady shirts. So everything's super cheap, inflation protected because they were ordered before the inflation. So we protect you from inflation. Also, we're selling them cheap because we're going out of business. That's all. All right. Thank you for your attention to that matter. All right. So let me, just because I talk about stocks, how insane it is. We've been in the most epic run of all time. Not of all time, in a long time. Leading up to, and especially after the announcement of the ceasefire. Donald Trump, all he had to do was threaten to end their civilization and then pretend Pakistan was begging us for a ceasefire by writing his tweets for him. And then at the last minute, so that he wouldn't have to follow on his threat of war crimes, we totally capitulated. Apparently saying we'd agree to anything, apparently not reading anything and saying we would agree to anything. including that Israel would stop attacking Lebanon, which we agreed to and actually approved the tweet, which said that Israel had to stop attacking Lebanon. Anyway, when all that happened, I'm short the stock market, people might know. So let's look at like the S&P 500 and let's look at a daily chart. I think it's up 8%. It's like very close to all-time highs. Yes. So this is a daily chart. So as you can see, the stock market had been going down because of the war all the way up until the end of March. And then what did Trump tweet that day? I can't remember. That was a big up day. And then ever since then, it's just been off to the races and almost back to all-time highs. Very close. Now, what is very curious about what happened today is that compared, like, I have no idea. There's nothing you can say to bring the stock market down. The stock market is up because the Strait of Hormuz is supposed to be open. The Strait of Hormuz is 100% closed. One ship that wasn't Iranian with some oil on it went through today for the first time in a long time. So I won't say it's completely closed, but there's like no traffic going through there. They say it's still closed. This morning, the stock market was going down here. And because Iran said that there was no ceasefire until Israel stopped attacking Lebanon. So they've been saying that for days because it's part of the deal. It's been reported that everybody knew it was part of the deal. And Trump talked to Netanyahu, who didn't agree with it. And then we pretended and lied that it wasn't part of the deal. We just lied about it, including J.D. Vance, including Carolyn Levitt, and including Donald Trump. We just lied and said it wasn't part of the deal when everybody knew it was part of the deal. And it's been reported on that we knew. Just because Israel likes bombing innocent people, basically, and killing innocent people. And then Israel did one of their worst attacks ever, blowing up a whole village, killing at least 250 people, including lots of women and children, like 1,200 injured, something like that. Some people are calling it like Beirut's 9/11. Just blew up buildings, indiscriminate shelling in downtown Beirut, claimed they were human shields or whatever after the ceasefire. Iran didn't strike back. Anyway, Iran has been saying that they're not going to negotiate until Israel agrees to a ceasefire, because they regard it's the Gabalif, the guy we're supposedly negotiating with, starts tomorrow, supposedly, said that he's not going to negotiate. It's not a ceasefire until it's a ceasefire, until Israel says it's a ceasefire. So anyway, right here, Israel came out and said, we're open to negotiations with Lebanon. So everybody took that as meaning that, oh, thumbs up, the ceasefire is good. And like, let's send stocks to the moon. And oil went down too. Oil started going down right away. Went back down to maybe 90. How low did it get? It was pumping this morning. At the same time the stock market was falling, oil was really pumping this morning. It went up to like 102. Then that news dropped, oil dropped, the stock market pumped. But then at some point during the day, I don't know which point, Netanyahu came out and made a statement that said there's not going to be a ceasefire, which means the Strait of Hormuz is closed, because that's what Iran said they're going to do. until there's a ceasefire with Lebanon. Netanyahu came out and made a statement. I have the statement for you, where he said, yeah, we're going to keep bombing Lebanon. And the stock market didn't react at all. It closed like at the high of the day. It's going down a little bit now, just a little. But I mean, that's what the news has done. There's been bad news ever since the ceasefire. It's been nothing but bad news, and the stock market continues to pump. It's kind of mesmerizing. And oil has been a little different. Oil has still been going up. Oil was still up today. So anyway, this is where the market's at right now. We're down a little bit. After hours is open for trading. The S&P's down a little bit. We can check in on oil, which is back up $100. I was going to ask you guys how much gas went down for you, because supposedly gas is supposed to go down. The price of oil fell 20%. I told you guys gas prices probably wouldn't change much. My gas went down 5 cents. That's it. That's where it's still at today. My gas went down 5 cents. So that's the effect of the so far relief for Americans, is that gas prices went down 5 cents, at least for me. I'm sure it's not much different everywhere else. The price of oil is still about $100. It went down to 92 at the lowest, but now it's at $99. WTI is at $99. But I can show you guys the same, let's see, 15 minutes, same thing. Like this is, it was pumped up to here. And then the fact that Israel said that they were going to negotiate with Lebanon, it dropped way down here, way down to 96, 95, 96. But then the rest of the day it went up because oil is understands a little bit better that the Strait of Hormuz is closed. And now the announcement is like, supposedly they flew there today. But there's an official announcement from Iranian media that there aren't going to be negotiations. They're supposed to start tomorrow. So I expect that the market peaked. That's my expectation, although I've been wrong, for a little while now. I think it's probably peaked because it's all bad news. Everything is bad news. The strait's closed. Yesterday, 4 boats went through. None of them had oil on them. Today, 1 boat with some oil, but not much, that wasn't Iranian, for the first time went through, but that's it for oil. And there's like about to be a full-on oil crisis. If you want to buy oil right now, it's around $140 a barrel. It's around $140 a barrel. If you're willing to wait until the middle of May, it's $100 a barrel. But eventually, that's because people assume the strait will open soon and oil will become more readily available. But if it doesn't, then all of those people who shorted oil, which is a bunch of people, are required to actually deliver physical oil in about 2 weeks. That's when the contract moves from May to June. So they're going to have to decide whether to close their trade or actually come up with physical oil. If they have to come up with physical oil, the price of oil will go all the way up to what it actually costs. So it could just be a face rip in oil. And of course, and the stock market runs opposite to oil. So I'm long oil, I'm short stocks. I mean, that's what I can say. It's been a bad trade for the last, few days. Just getting raped. But I'm confident. But we'll see. But Trump, there's nothing left to taco on, is what I feel like. Like Trump has been making things worse the whole time, so he could always make things better by doing a taco. But I don't think there's anything left for him to taco on. Now it just gets worse every day. That there's no ceasefire in the Strait of Hormuz isn't open. They're saying if they open the Strait of Hormuz, they'll let through maybe 12 or 15 ships a day. But the Strait of Hormuz is supposed to have what before the war starts, like 100 ships a day. So there's still a massive oil shortage. Countries in Asia are already rationing fuel. Europe is about to run out of fuel. So it's about to hit. But still, people believe President Trump, I guess, and all the idiots who repost everything he says without questioning it. People still believe it's going to happen soon. It doesn't look like it's going to happen anytime soon. The Strait isn't going back to normal business. So Trump is threatening, and it was reported that we agreed, and Trump indicated that we agreed to let, as part of this so-called ceasefire, we agreed to everything just so we wouldn't have to look stupid by not. So Trump agreed to everything without thinking about it, just so he could declare victory and say, oh, they begged. They didn't beg for a ceasefire. We begged for a ceasefire. Trump didn't want to follow through on his threats. He never intended to, either because he didn't want to commit war crimes, possibly because that would definitely be a reason to impeach him, or because he was afraid, more likely that he was afraid of the consequences, which would be Iran then bombing everything and taking the whole world into the Stone Age, basically by destroying the entire Middle East. And we would never have oil again because they destroy all the oil refinery, everybody else's oil refineries and oil production capabilities, desalination plants, and there would just never be oil again, and we'd be living in hell, basically. So I think that's probably why he didn't do it, because what Iran was threatening to do in the case that we did it. But anyway, that's what he did. But now it was clear that he told them they could charge tolls, because when he spoke to a reporter about it and they asked him about the tolls, he said, oh, maybe we'll split it with them, as if Iran was about to share profits from the tolls with us. But he was clearly aware of it. We clearly agreed to let them do it. And now we're going back on that. So now he says there are reports, like he just woke up. There are reports that Iran is charging fees to tankers going through this Hormuz Strait. They better not be. And if they are, they better stop now. Or what? I mean, that'd be my question. I don't think Trump wants to bomb Iran anymore. I literally think that's what happened. There are no more targets left. Yeah, we can't take out the rest of their capabilities by bombing them. The only thing we can do is commit war crimes from here. We could take out their oil refineries and Karg Island. We could take out the Karg Island pipelines. We could do that, but that would have catastrophic results. Trump doesn't want to bomb their oil. Israel does, but Trump doesn't want to bomb their oil because he knows we need as much oil as possible. If Iran is the only country that can send oil through the Strait, then we need Iran pumping and selling as much oil as possible. That's why we remove sanctions on them, because we need them to put out their oil at least to try to keep the price down. So we have no intention of bombing their oil, but that's what's left for us to do. Or we can bomb their power plants and bomb their bridges. But what does that accomplish? If they're not going to, but I mean, the strategic calculation is, well, they're not going to surrender anyway. It's not going to change the regime. So all you'd be doing is committing war crimes for no reason. And in fact, it would be disastrous. I assume that's the calculation. So that's all we have left to do. We ran out of targets. All we can do is say mission accomplished. But negotiations, first of all, now aren't happening tomorrow. I saw JD Vance's plane turned around. JD Vance flew over there to Pakistan. I saw a report that his plane turned around. So it looks like there's going to be no talks. They're supposed to start tomorrow. It looks like there's no talks. And there's bombs flying all over the place. Kuwait, a bunch of stuff in Kuwait got bombed today. Iran said it wasn't them. Somebody, I think, said it was Azerbaijan. Lebanon, somebody mentioned that Lebanon isn't doing anything to Israel. Lebanon launched rockets at Israel today. Iran still isn't bombing Israel. So Iran is actually totally restraining themselves still and trying not to break the ceasefire. They claim they're not the ones who hit Kuwait. They did hit the east-west pipeline in Saudi Arabia, took a bunch of their oil offline. At least 700,000 barrels a day have been taken offline in Saudi Arabia because they hit their pipeline. So the war is still on, and I think it's just a matter of time until Israel directly attacks Iran and Iran attacks Israel again. And then it's just officially over, probably. Then you'll just have to see what Trump does. I literally think he doesn't want to do anything else. He wants it, like he just wants it to be over. So we'll see what we do. Somebody mentioned we're flying a bunch of troops in. Yeah, we're still apparently flying a bunch of troops in. We were flying a drone over the Persian Gulf that got shot down today, like a $200 million drone was shot down by Iran today, indicating that their air defenses really did take a big step up. Now, I don't know if they have the Russian equipment or what, but obviously they can shoot stuff down now. They shot down a very high altitude drone that was loitering around the Persian Gulf and over the Strait of Hormuz. So tons of stuff is still happening. It's just a matter of time, it seems like, until Iran feels like they have to start firing missiles at Israel again, I'm guessing. So Mr. Happy says they have infrared R400s. Yeah, it's possible. They definitely have infrared. They use an advanced undetectable radar system or modified radar system, which just basically uses cameras, which don't send off a radar ping, so you can't find them. And that they can track stealth planes with that too, because stealth planes are invisible to radar, but they're not invisible to cameras, and they still have heat signature. So they're able to attack F-35s, and they're able to take down our planes. But they took down the F-15. They took down a number of helicopters, C-130s. So obviously they're showing capabilities, and it just exposes it's just all lie. Everything the administration is just saying is a lie now. That we won, for one thing, that we've destroyed their military capabilities, that we have air dominance. All of it's not true. So that's where we're at. I mean, the argument that the war is going to continue is that it's going to be more and more clear as every day passes that we lost, basically. And so, and as long as the Strait of Hormuz remains closed, there's going to be pressure on us to figure out how to get the Strait of Hormuz open. We might feel like we just have to keep bombing them. But I don't think there's anything left to bomb. So I'm not sure if the United States is going to attack again, but we are moving assets into the area. We are keeping assets there. We are threatening them still. Trump thought literally that he could threaten them and that would work. And it just never worked. And just showed that he was bluffing the whole time. So David says, where did they take out helicopters, C-130s? Well, when the F-15 rescue was going on, the C-130s, okay, we might have bombed. The C-130s, it's hard to say. It's possible they didn't shoot down the C-130s. but they shot down some warthogs. That's definitely true. They shot down a few warthogs, and they shot down some helicopters. That's definitely true. So, yeah, the C-130s is in question. I apologize. It's still arguable. They might not have shot them down. They shot them while they were on the ground, it appeared, because people could see the fire from like small arms fire. But it's possible that that was the failed mission to extract the uranium. Awaken says, are you sure Lebanon is bombing back? Because I don't see any heading in Israel's direction from South Lebanon. Or why are you there? I heard. I just heard that there were rocket alerts in Israel, or actually that the rockets came in and the alerts didn't even go off. But I heard that today. I don't know if it's true. I heard that there was rocket attack from Lebanon today. That's what I heard, but I don't know for sure. I guess I'm not 100% sure. But there's definitely no ceasefire. I could play you. This is the news about the no ceasefire. This is what Galibaf, who is going to be at the meetings starting tomorrow, tweeted out today. He said time is running out, and he had tweeted previously today this list, which says that Lebanon and the whole resistance axis is an inseparable part of the ceasefire. The Ayatollah was tweeting a bunch today, if he's alive. Everybody acknowledges that Lebanon was part of the ceasefire and that we changed the deal. Here's what J.D. Vance said. J.D. Vance went to Hungary because we don't care about America, but we care about getting Orban reelected. But apparently ever since J.D. Vance showed up, he's dropping in the polls. That J.D. Vance showed up to try to get Orban reelected, and now he's really dropping in the polls ever since J.D. Vance went there, because everybody hates America pretty much worldwide. This was J.D. Vance lying about the Lebanon situation, claiming they didn't understand English.
First of all, I actually think, and there's a lot of bad faith negotiation and a lot of bad faith, propaganda going on. I think this comes from a legitimate misunderstanding. I think the Iranians thought that the ceasefire included Lebanon, and it just didn't. We never made that promise. We never indicated that was going to be the case. What we said is that the ceasefire would be focused on Iran, and the ceasefire would be focused on America's allies, both Israel and the Gulf Arab states. First of all,
there you go. So there he is. He also claimed he might not understand English at one point. Then also, they weren't saying, Iran originally said that they weren't going to do negotiations and there was no ceasefire because we keep saying they can't enrich uranium, which is why if the talks even started, they would be over in a day, because we're insisting they can't enrich uranium and they're insisting they can. And I don't think it's negotiable on either side. So I'm not sure why Iran ever agreed to a ceasefire. It was just stupid. We're completely untrustworthy. They get bombed in the middle of negotiations all the time. I have no idea why Iran agreed to a ceasefire. No idea. Or to say they were going to open the strait or any of that. But I guess it was a chance for the United States. I guess we told, apparently China, I heard that China guaranteed that we would at least agree to some of their terms. That's what I heard. Apparently China had a big part of it, but that might mean that China is willing to step in or at least support them and sell weapons to them, because I'm sure they have some good anti-aircraft stuff too. But anyway, here he is talking about the enrichment, because they want to enrich. The talks always broke down. They want to enrich. They want to make missiles. apparently we guaranteed Israel that we would make them not enrich and not do missiles. So those are non-starters. So there's no chance the negotiation goes well based on their demands. But Trump apparently said something like, oh yeah, the 10-point plan is great. And then says it wasn't even the 10-point plan. There's some like super secret 10-point plan that's not the one that they said it is, that everybody knew about the whole time. Now we're just trying to backtrack. So I have no idea how long this ceasefire will last. Again, I don't think we're the ones who wanted it to stop. So we might not attack them, but they'll just keep the strait closed. That's all they have to do. That's their whole weapon. I mean, they don't need nuclear bombs or anything. Anyway, here he is saying something weird about the enrichment thing.
The second thing Ghalibaf said, which again I found fascinating, is he said, we refuse to give up the right to enrichment. And I thought to myself, you know what? My wife has the right to skydive, but she doesn't jump out of an airplane because she and I have an agreement that she's not going to do that because I don't want my wife jumping out of an airplane. We don't really concern ourselves with what they claim they have the right to do. We concern ourselves with what they actually do. And I think the president's been very clear on the enrichment question. The second thing Ghalibaf said, which
that makes sense. It's the weirdest analogy of all time. My wife has a right to skydive, but I don't let her jump out of a plane. What? Like what? What kind of? Wait, that's the weirdest thing I've ever heard. They insist on enriching. They don't care. Per the news, Iran won't negotiate. That's fine. Iran's also demanding unfrozen Iranian assets, which would be exactly the same thing that Trump said that Obama did. So Obama gave him cash when he made the nuclear deal, which the nuclear deal Obama made is looking better and better every single day. Because Trump's never going to get close to that deal ever again. The deal that Obama made, we gave them their own money back, their own frozen money, which we stole from them, basically, sanctioned or however you want to say it. They're demanding the same thing now, which I'm assuming we also won't agree to. And that's all to open the Strait of Hormuz so yeah, they're demanding that they get their assets unfrozen. They're demanding no sanctions, all of that stuff. So anyway, I have Netanyahu's statement. Here's what Netanyahu said, which once again, the market completely shrugged off today, but I'm guessing it'll settle in soon. So this is what he said. So this is the guy. This is the guy that pitched Trump on the war, said it would be easy. Said they couldn't close the strait. Said there are a bunch of people ready to take the place of the dead Ayatollah. This is the guy. And now he's refusing to do a real ceasefire with Lebanon, which means that there's no deal. There's zero deal. No ceasefire, no agreement, no nothing until he agrees to that. So he's the guy stopping it 100% right now. Iran was ready to go to meetings tomorrow if we could convince this lunatic to stop bombing Lebanon. Like I said, he said that they would do negotiations, which everybody in the market took as there being a ceasefire, but then he came out and said this. Oh, it's a stupid language. It's not even in English. He said, there is no ceasefire in Lebanon. We continue to strike Hezbollah with full force, and we will not stop until we restore your security. Also, he's about to go on trial again now that the war is supposedly over. So that's another reason he has to continue war all the time, is now that the war is supposedly over, he's scheduled to go on trial again on Sunday. And he's guilty of a bunch of stuff, apparently, allegedly. So he doesn't want that. Anyway, so that was just him talking Hebrew. In addition to Pakistan saying that Lebanon was part of the agreement, this defense minister for Pakistan, who supposedly brokered this deal, tweeted this today: Israel is evil and a curse for humanity. While peace talks are underway in Islamabad, genocide is being committed in Lebanon. Innocent citizens are being killed by Israel, first Gaza, then Iran, and now Lebanon. Bloodletting continues unabated. I hope and pray people who created this cancerous state on Palestinian land to get rid of European Jews burn in hell. So that's what he said. Israel's kind of upset about that. But this is the country that's facilitating the negotiations, just letting everybody know who the problem is, who's getting in the way of peace. So it's clearly Israel that refuses to give peace a chance. Here's Trump threatening, just saying there's a bunch. He sent out a bunch of True Social stuff today. All U.S. ships, aircraft, and military personnel with appropriate ammunition, weaponry, and anything else that is appropriate and necessary for the lethal prosecution and destruction of an already substantially degraded enemy will remain in place and in and around Iran until such time as the real agreement reached is fully complied with. If for any reason it is not, which is highly unlikely, then the shooting starts. The shooting. Bigger and better and stronger than anyone has ever seen before. It was agreed a long time ago, and despite all of the fake rhetoric to the contrary, no nuclear weapons, and the Strait of Hormuz will be open and safe. In the meantime, our great military is loading up and resting, looking forward actually to its next conquest. America is back. So he says the real agreement. Well, the Strait of Hormuz isn't going to be open. They're going to be collecting tolls. Or they're going to fight you for it. So I don't know what he's planning to do. Here's what Fox News is telling people. Jesse Waters, I mean, this guy. He's saying how great it's going to be if we have to go back in. This is good. Let's see.
So we'll have more Marines in the region. And we're still flying over Iranian airspace, monitoring the situation. A ceasefire is a release valve for the stock market. It's already almost rallied all the way back to where it was at the start of the war. Oil prices have already tapered off, and every day we don't drop bombs, prices drop. If we go back in, it'll be a quick one, too, and the markets won't overreact. We hold the cards, and the military is ready for everything.
This is.
I like how it's literally all about the stock market and the price of oil, the whole war. Everything Trump says, everything these idiots say. He says, oh yeah, he's telling people not to sell stocks, not to overreact. He's saying that the market won't overreact if we have to go back in, and it'll be quick. Why? When are we going to accomplish our objectives? So here's Fox News saying that we didn't accomplish any of our objectives.
But I will say that the president's demands We have not reached any of those objectives. I have full confidence that the president is going to find some way to make this happen. But he said that we want to dismantle all major nuclear facilities. That has not happened. The end of uranium enrichment on the soil, they're still enriching. The transfer of the enriched uranium stockpiles out of Iran, that hasn't happened. The acceptance of intrusive international inspections, they're still not willing to do that. And they have not suspended their ballistic missiles program. They're still firing them off to stop the production of the long-range missiles. That's just a few of them on the president's proposal. The question is the president using this 2 weeks to give our soldiers a break, a rest, to see if we can get this ultimately done? We'll see. But I will say...
There you go. At least they tell the truth sometimes. At least there's one guy on there. Haven't dismantled their weapons. They're still firing missiles. If they didn't have capabilities, they wouldn't be firing missiles successfully anymore. If we dismantled their drone program, they wouldn't be successfully hitting stuff with drones every day. The proof is in the pudding, whatever that means. Lindsey Graham. Oh, okay. I have some stuff about money. He put out this screed, which I wasn't even going to save it. He put out this super long True Social post attacking Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones. Okay, here's the thing. All as low IQ, stupid people who says nobody cares about them. They're nut jobs, troublemakers, and will say anything necessary for some free and cheap publicity. This is where we're at in the situation. Everybody who's smart and talented and has a big audience, a big reliable audience for the most part, is against the war and kind of hates Donald Trump now. Those people, Tucker Carlson, Megyn Kelly, Candace Owens, and Alex Jones, those are the biggest shows. And they're not stupid. They're very talented. That's why people tune in. The ones left are the ones nobody likes. Ben Shapiro, who's losing audience. Mark Levin, who everybody hates. And isn't that good? He's on, like Saturday nights or something? By accident. He doesn't even have a primetime show. Laura Loomer, his favorite person, allegedly. That's who's left. All the comedians who supported him hate him now. Joe Rogan, Vaughn, what's the other guy's name? The other guy who's always supported Palestine. All the guys that had him on, all the podcast bros, the ones who helped him get elected, all of them hate Trump now. So, and then Lindsey Graham isn't that happy. And now Laura Loomer and Mark Levin don't like him that much either. Because actually they were hoping he followed through on his threat. Because they are bloodthirsty lunatics who hate Muslims, like all of them, and just want to see them all die. Particularly Laura Loomer. They're upset he didn't follow through on his threats. That's who's left. So they don't even like him that much anymore either, because they don't like the deal that much. And then Lindsey Graham doesn't like the deal. Mark Levin doesn't like the deal. Laura Loomer doesn't like the deal. I don't know what Ben Shapiro is saying lately. I don't pay any attention to those people. Then the other thing I'll tell you is they released a chart with circles the size of people's audiences on Twitter. And on Twitter, These are all people who have not very successful presences in media, but have big Twitter accounts. On Twitter, almost all the biggest accounts are MAGA retards or low IQ, the dumbest accounts with the dumbest takes on social media are the biggest accounts, it appears. It's, I guess, why they're always showing up in my feed. Gunther Eagleman, Cat Turd, and then other MAGA accounts. Let me see if I have the map. If you guys are terminally online like me, you know these stupid accounts. But these are people who just repost what Trump or Carolyn Levitt say as if it's true and then call people stupid. Oh, and then there's that idiot. He's not a big account. But Jeremy from the Quartering, he's another one. Everybody hates him now because he just has the lowest IQ, stupidest takes. So, I mean, that's just like, here's the map. Eric Doherty, here's the map. If you can believe it. Nate Silver was just pointing out how it's all right wing, but it's not even that it's all right wing. Is that it's the right wing accounts that just retweet whatever the administration says as if it's true, when all they're doing is telling lies now. Eric Doherty, Gunther Eagleman, Cat Turd, Benny Johnson, the White House, Nick Sorter, I think, is the same category. MAGA Voice, James Woods. These are all people who support the war and repeat anything the White House says. The only one who doesn't is Jackson Hinkle. I think he's a communist, right? Laura Loomer is one of the big ones. Libs of TikTok, she's not an idiot. And anyway, I rarely see her tweets anymore either, but she is Jewish. I hardly ever see her tweets anymore. I don't know what she's talking about during the war. But these other ones, I mean, Gunther Eagleman, Eric Doherty, and Cat Turd, and Laura Loomer. I mean, if that's what people are seeing, maybe that's why the stock market's stupid. Because all of those people repeat it's just literally government propaganda. They're just government propaganda accounts. That's it. Straight government propaganda. So, anyway. I couldn't believe it. I was like, those are the biggest accounts. That's who people are listening to. I don't even tweet. I don't even bother. I get one like if I'm lucky. Let's see. Here's, okay. So some economic news. Besides the fact that we're going to probably have a depression because there's no oil or petrochemical goods coming out of the most important straight waterway on Earth. They're also not transacting in US dollars. They're transacting in yen and cryptocurrency. So a lot of talk about cryptocurrency. They're willing to accept Trump dollars. I said I was surprised they're transacting in Bitcoin and not just using US dollar coin, but they're using US dollar coin on Tether, USDT. And they also are willing to accept Trump dollars, which is, I can't remember what the symbol is for that one. They're willing to accept Trump dollars for their fee. They're charging $1 per barrel for oil. So it's like up to $2 million a ship. It's not always $2 million a ship, but anyway, here's what Lindsey Graham has to say about that. That Iran is using Chinese yuan.
As to the Strait of Hormuz, right now they're charging ships, the IRGC, the Iranians, to go through the straits, and they're taking the yuan, not the dollar. One threat of this whole debacle is if we start allowing the Chinese currency to be traded in oil, that will hurt the dollar. In 1974, every barrel of oil sold and traded in the world is traded in dollars. Now, what are the Iranians trying to do? They're trying to change the currency from a dollar to a Chinese yuan, and that's an attack on the dollar. And that needs to end too. So I'm very optimistic that President Trump's going to bring this regime to an end one way or the other. I prefer diplomacy, but this time tomorrow night, they're either going to do a deal that makes sense for the world and the region and for Iran itself, or we're going to blow them up. And as to the Strait of Hormuz,
or we're going to blow them up. Okay, good luck. We already threatened that. We're out of threats, actually. Sorry, the clip was a little low. Here's Marco Rubio saying we won't even be able to sanction people anymore.
Today, Brazil, in our hemisphere, largest country in the Western Hemisphere south of us, cut a trade deal with China. They're going to, from now on, do trade in their own currencies, get right around the dollar. They're creating a secondary economy in the world, totally independent of the United States. We won't have to talk about sanctions in 5 years because there'll be so many countries transacting in currencies other than the dollar that we won't have the ability to sanction them. Today, Brazil.
So there you go, guys. The New World Order. I guess that's why we're trying to take over all these countries. The writing's on the wall for the United States empire. We threatened the Pope. That's a big story. Apparently, we threatened the Pope because he didn't support the Iran war. So that's a big story. We threatened to intimidate him with the military or something. There's a denial about the story out today from the government. I'm just saying, I think it was well reported that we threatened the Pope because he's anti-war. I heard they're thinking about excommunicating J.D. Vance, but I don't know if that's true. Not sure. J.D. Vance. We didn't allow Catholic services during Easter, I think, in the government, apparently. Because Catholics don't like Jews as much, I guess. I think that's the main thing. They're not automatic Zionists like the evangelicals are. Thomas Massey is leading in the polls. Just wanted to show you guys that. So Thomas Massey is leading in a couple polls now, which is good news, considering he's got the full force of a bunch of rich Jews and Trump behind his opponent. So he's still ahead. He's only ahead by about 5 points in this one poll. And it's only old people, 65 plus. That's who Trump has left, I guess. Boomers, dumb boomers, pretty much, who are brainwashed about Israel, pretty much. So Massey's ahead. That's good news. Trump couldn't make it to CPAC. He's going to be at a meme coin conference. That was reported today. He's going to be at a meme coin conference this month. So with everything that's going on in the world, he's going to a meme coin conference, which reminds people about how his family is just profiting off his presidency. Him and himself personally, with his own meme coin, which everybody lost all their money on. And the Melania meme coin, which everybody lost all their money on even harder. So he's going to a meme coin conference. And he posted this on his True Social today of the UFC event with gambling websites, illegal gambling websites. On the bottom, this one, Stake, I guess, is well known. Stake is an illegal in America cryptocurrency gambling website. It's based in Australia. So he posted this picture promoting the UFC event that's going to be on the White House lawn, I guess. And it's an advertisement for an illegal crypto gambling, which is appropriate considering that everything, all the insider trading that's been going on based on his tweets, that he promotes gambling. So apparently, just a story I heard, this company Stake created that streaming platform called Kick because a bunch of Americans were streaming on Twitch, I guess. Probably on Twitch. A bunch of Americans were streaming on Twitch. And gambling. because people watch dumb shit on videos. That's what DLive turned into. It was all gambling. So people watch other people gamble, just like they watch other people play video games. Just the ultimate sign of society's downfall. Just not doing something yourself, but just getting some kind of passive enjoyment by watching somebody else do it. So anyway, Twitch kicked off all these people who are using this website Stake, which is illegal in America. They were Americans using an illegal website and encouraging their viewers to sign up for it, which in America where it's illegal. So that's why they created Kick, which is like what a bunch of banned streamers went to. I don't think Fuentes is on Kick, but some other kind of famous streamers are on there. So I learned that today. Anyway. Okay. Finally, regarding his statement that he would destroy an entire Iranian civilization, I just have a few clips. Here's the NATO chief being asked if it was offensive, not being able to answer the question.
When President Trump threatened to kill the entire Iranian civilization, did that bother you at all as a diplomat?
Well, you know, what I always say when it comes to what leaders are saying, I'm not commenting on everything. What I want you to know is that I support the president, and I know large parts of you do when it comes to taking out the capacity of Iran to export chaos to the region, to Europe, to the whole world. They are one of the main enablers of Russia's war effort in Ukraine. We all know this.
Yeah, all the drones.
With the drones, it is an existential threat to Israel if they would get their hands on a nuclear capability. It is great to try to negotiate it away, but we also always knew that with North Korea, it took too long, and then North Korea had its hand on a nuclear, and then you cannot negotiate any longer, and they have that power.
But what? Anyway, he was like, I'm not going to comment on that. Then this was a classic clip from CNBC. This is a kind of a classic clip.
Yeah. This deadline that President Trump has set, 8 p.m., has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk? This deadline that President Trump has set, 8 p.m., has threatened to destroy a civilization. How does an investor process that? Is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk?
It was a bigger upside risk, it turned out. People knew that it was going to make a deal. People knew it in advance. Obviously, because the stock market was already going up. That's why the stock market didn't really sell off. People knew that he was going to make a deal. I guess they knew it in advance. I was stupid. I didn't know. Otherwise, I would have done something about it. But anyway, is it a bigger upside risk or downside risk when he says he's going to destroy a civilization? All right. Thanks, but no thanks for the super chats today. I don't think I got any super chats. So, oh no, I did. I got one who said triple fat goose chat. Volkswagen Corrado money for Nate. King Ravana, thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate that. And then let me check my coffees at buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil. Bernetto57 bought 3 coffees, says, man, I need another buster after that press conference. A buster. I wonder if that's one of those Iran Lego videos. And then August Bullock bought a few coffees. And Jewel Lightheart bought a coffee, says, keep missing the show as I'm being pimped out for coffee. Thank you. And then I think I read the last one. So thanks for the coffees. Those are the high IQ way to support the show. Appreciate that. Thanks everybody for tuning in. That's the news for today. We'll see if we're back again tomorrow, Friday. Let's take a look at where things stand. Oil is at $99. No, that's outdated. Let's see where oil's at. Let's refresh. Well, it's at 98.56. All right. So it's not up that much. And the stock market is down a little bit, not much, 0.1%, about 0.12%. So not much going on there. All right, guys, thanks for tuning into the show. Good to see you as usual. And we'll see you at the next one. All right. For now, that's what it is.